Hey there guys, it's Salis, and it's my pleasure to tell the YouTuberverse Super Crossfire. I'm bad at this. Super Crossfire is a game produced by Radian Games, and it's kind of an arcade style, think Space Invaders meets Star Trek type thing. As you can see, this is the menu, and it has this kind of like tilting effect going on with it. So I think that's kind of cool, but you can turn that off if it starts to give you a bit of seasickness, as it can do if you're staring at it for hours on end. Option screen, very, very basic, as you'd expect. I've got my tilt on high, you can turn it to low or off. It's got unlockable upgrades as you go through the game, and you can turn those automatic or not. I keep them off. I've had to disable sound effects and music because even when they're turned down to their lowest, they're still obnoxiously loud. But for the sake of being thorough about this, I'll try turning on the sound effects first. That's the sound effects when you go through the menus, and the music, which is actually really good, if not a bit loud, sounds like this. It's got an auto-fire option where you don't actually have to use the mouse button to fire, but I turn it off because I like doing that. And obviously mouse sensitivity very high. So look at the controls. Mouse has 4 different types of configuration to suit your playstyle. Obviously it's handy if you're left-handed because then obviously the buttons get inverted. Keyboard also has 4 types and the gamepad has 4 types. But these keys aren't rebindable, but they aren't exclusive either, so you can actually use a combination of keyboard and mouse, or well, that's pretty much the only real combination you can have. It's really hard by keyboard and gamepad. That'd be weird unless you're a squid. Anyway, let's get into the whole meat of this game, shall we? Chapter 1, Level 1. Begin. Yeah, I like this. It's actually got like a kind of good intro and a bit of a story to it, and I can select some upgrades right from the get-go. So I'm going to choose shot speed, shot spread, and shot power. Let's go. This is where I say it's like Space Invaders, because as you can see it's just like a wall of enemies and you face off against them. However, Star Trek comes in with the warp system. You can actually warp through your enemy, so if you're in a situation where you're pretty much getting cornered by fire, you can warp straight through that to the top of the screen. It forces the enemies to turn. However, this particular type of enemy ship I'm coming up against, which is actually kind of handy, I'm talking about it now, is affected by warp drive, and it causes them to bounce around the screen every time you use it. So you gotta try and be as sparing as possible using warp in this situation, because you may just get pummeled in the face when you warp back in. It's got a few different enemy types, this game, and they're all very different, and you can tell which ones are which. And hopefully when I get in I'll show you some more of the complex ones. These are armoured ships. They take more than one hit to destroy, and they fire a much wider arc than, say, your standard enemies. That's game over screen, lovely. Yeah, these are your standard enemies. I don't think they've actually got classification as far as the game's concerned, but I like to consider them scout ships because, let's face it, if you're ever watching sci-fi, it's always the scout ship that goes down first. Then they send the Enterprise to investigate. Oh yeah, this is the stuff. Warp up. When they're all tightly packed, warp does help with this this model of ship, because you can actually spread them out a little. So you've just got to get used to using the warp at the right time. Also, the enemies will flip over and track you when you warp, so that's really, really cool. Because if this was a Space Invaders outright clone, then you'd pretty much be safe if you were just sticking around at the top. Because they only ever fire downwards. Some really bad Space Invaders. Don't they know we have planes and things that fly too? There we are, got past those. Take out these scout ships. And hopefully I can show you some more of the enemy types before I fail again. Right, here we are. And just like Space Invaders, you do get the mothership flying across the top every so often, and that is really good for increasing your score. Obviously, the more score you get, the more upgrade points you become available to spend. So score is always, always important in this game. Go on, hit it, yes! Wave 5. Ah. Now, like I said, you do get combinations of ships as well. This one's got the war-perfected ships and scout ships together. So, you've got to try and separate them. Makes it easier to handle. There we are. And I've got an upgrade, as you just saw pop up on the screen. I think I'm going to go with more shot spread and more speed. Because speed is always, always good. Ah! These are good enemies. They fire a concentrated particle beam. They don't flip over, so you can take out the bottom ones and flip to the top to survive. But if you get cornered by them, you're screwed. Now, the green things that look kind of like an iron cross on these ships are shield generators. You cannot harm the enemy until the shield generator is destroyed. So, always important to take those out. Anyone who's ever seen Star Trek will know that. And I've just got myself a shield, so they can't hit me. There are pickups in this game, but they are, because the game's so fast, it's hard to see. Right, these ones are angry. These are very angry people. As you can see, they fire very, very quickly, and they change direction very, very quickly. So as soon as you've warped up, they've pretty much already changed direction. So you've got to be as quick as them. There we are, wave 9. More shield generators. And armoured ships. So these are like your ultimate battle cruiser. These things can take you on, no problem. Mothership. Get the mothership. There we go. I'm trying to find a crystal to show you the super fire, which you get for getting 3 crystals. Do we already have it? No, I've got 2 crystals according to my thing at the bottom. Ah, these are boss fights. Big, angry ships that want to kill you. Let's see where this brings us in. Oh, it only brings us back at the beams. That's okay. I can probably cut my way back to the boss fight. Saying that with all confidence there. I'm actually using a combination of the keyboard for my left and right movement and the mouse to fire. So I think that makes it a little easier. You can do it all on the mouse, just by moving the mouse left and right to move you left and right, but I find that to be really awkward, especially since I've got a very high DPI mouse, and mouse sensitivity set to very high. Right, angry ships, angry ships, angry ships. Keep them confused, keep them confused. Whoops. May have exploded slightly there. Come on. Give me a crystal. I want to use super fire. Captain, enemy shields are down. Another ship. Whoa, warp. Quickly, quickly. See, don't want to fail now. Crystal, crystal. There we are. Right, I now have super fire available for the boss fight, and I'll show you that in a second, because it's really, really cool. Damn! Damn you, sir. Had super fire and everything, I didn't use it. I was saving it to show you the boss fight. See, this is why I'm bad at this. I managed to survive that without too many casualties. On. The shield emitter's down. Failure. Oops, exploded there. You do lose track of when you explode because you respawn so quickly. Angry, angry, angry ships. Not good, not good. Angry ships, come on. Mothership, 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 yes. What you wanted. What are you, what are you? Yes, get you anyway. Unfortunately, the game doesn't explain what every single pickup is. I mean, it'd be nice if it did, but I know the yellow one is your shield. The pink ones are crystals, which power your super fire, which I'm still missing one of. And that's about it. I don't know what the green one does. I don't know whether it actually gives you an extra life or what. All I know is it's got to be something. That's all I know. Because everything's something. Otherwise it wouldn't be a thing. Right, here we go. Boss fight time. Still no super fire though, I don't think. Oh, yes I do. That is super fire. It destroys everything. Get that mothership, get the mothership, get the mothership. Yes. Get the shield down. Come on, get the shield. Yes, shield time. Destroy big ship. Big ship down. This bit is exactly like Space Invaders. Move down and change direction. And I've got a new upgrade. I've got 3 points to spend. I think I'm going to save those for more shot power. Keep firing. Ah. Now, this enemy type, the upside down one, the gold one type thing, they're only attackable from their bottom, and they can't change direction. So you have to keep warping around in order to take them out, but once you're behind them, they pose absolutely no threat. So it's always good to have a vacant area where you can hide, essentially. Well, the ship got down. Yes. Super fire ready. Just in case I come up against something tricky. That's if I survive long enough to come up against something tricky. Wave 12. Oh, I hate these things. The gold things burst when you hit them. So you have to keep warping out of the way to super fire. There we go. You have to keep warping out of the way of them. Oh, who gave the angry ship shields? What I want to know is, whose idea was that? Ow. Ow. That hurt. Anyway, this has been my look at Super Crossfire. It's available for $2.99 on Desura. I got it as part of the Indie Royale bundle, and at the time that was the only way to get it, but not so much anymore. And it's not available on Steam or Gamersgate, so that might be a bit of an off-putting thing for you, but personally, I think Desura is perfectly fine. So, go check it out. It's a really good indie title if you're into arcadey style space shooters, which will keep you addicted for about 6 years at minimum. So, go check it out. I've been Salis, and I will see you next... Ow!